Hello, everyone. Welcome to Meticulous Talks on Saturday, August 1st. Apologies, I'm a little frazzled. It's been a really busy week for me this week.
Yeah, me too.
Yeah, and I kind of lost track of the spoilers there. So, of course, last week. So some of these hot takes will be a little bit hotter than usual. Really fresh opinions.
Yep.
But over the course of these past 2 weeks, the spoiler season has continued apace. We're back again with another 20 cards that hadn't been seen before, both from the playtesting stream, I guess about a week and a half ago now, and a couple of other various ones that have just kind of shown up for various reasons since then.
Yeah. I heard Aura dropped some great loot. I want to see his entire loot table, though.
I mean, I'm sure we will eventually.
Hopefully.
All right. I guess we shall not waste any time.
Yep. Unless we want here to be here for 3 hours.
You know, I'd rather not.
Hey, I don't have draft this week, so I have plenty of time until I go to sleep.
Alrighty. So, picking up, good morning, by the way, Grandpa. See you there in chat. Picking up right with the playtesting stream, which started out with, geez, I just watched it like an hour ago. It was orange. Grandpa's was playing orange. Bugle was playing
Blue purple?
in the first match?
Yeah, still in the main.
That's right. Yeah, okay. And we've already seen some excellent orange cards already, some of which were in that match, but it was also this one. Rock Garden, costing 3, flipping for 3, 1 orange wreck. Main phase event to dismiss an exhausted friend, and put a 3 orange rock friend token into play exhausted. And as Grandpa's mentioned during the stream, it's been a long while since we last had meaningful rock friends happening.
Or really any rock friends. I think the last time was Whofield and McColt's? Like where you retire critters to make a rock token?
Yeah, that was Friends Forever, right? I think so.
Wasn't that Defenders of Equestria?
Oh.
So I think that was a while ago.
Wow, yeah, okay.
So yeah, the set in general has some cards that bring back some old tokens, like Figments.
Mm-hmm.
Haven't seen them in a while, even longer than Rock Friends.
There was some in Marks, I'm pretty sure. But yeah, after that, maybe not.
I think they're just in High Magic. I'm not sure. Either way, this card.
Either way, this card, yes. Qualified removal for orange, similar to the way that blue gets to dismiss frightened stuff, orange gets to dismiss exhausted stuff. And there are lots of ways to exhaust things.
Or keep them exhausted.
Absolutely.
Fume.
Mm-hmm. The Applejack main.
Yeah. Fume. I mean, there's a bunch of mains, orange mains. Like, there's also Grubber. If you really want to go far in Harmony, there's Apple Bloom, I suppose.
Yeah.
A bunch of events that exhaust things. I think, like, Find the Purpose in Your Life can exhaust a thing. There's also that new card, Drop Dead Tyrant, which exhausts a thing at immediate speed. So it's not really hard to come by. I mean, your opponents could just exhaust their friends on their own, like Starlights.
Yeah, absolutely.
Or Luna Midnight, or a lot of cards do exhaust.
Midnight, yeah, that'd be value.
That'll feel really good. This card costs 3 though. 3 is a lot, but has very low rec. Like you don't even have to play orange.
Yeah.
Like one orange rec is nothing. Well, not nothing, but any orange thing will get you there.
It means that there's a potential that if colors that exhaust that things a lot, like purple, become really strong, then orange might be the logical color to take to counter it a little bit.
Yeah, splash into.
Yeah.
So yeah, and yeah, well, it's just to keep in mind that it's not just free ET for the removal. Like you get power for it too. It might have been as well a friend, like that when enters play has like free power, enters play exhausted and dismisses an exhausted friend.
Yeah. Which would be pretty good.
Yeah, free for free, which you can't use immediately, but still, and dismisses an exhausted thing. Probably pretty good. And for just one rec.
I think so.
I wonder if you want to play this card sometimes even without the dismissal, because even if you don't dismiss anything, you still get the friend. Like with Muffin Mare, I don't think it comes close to like push come to show, which
Yeah.
costs 2 and gives you Rock Friend. But like as just one extra card that can flip your main, I think could be useful.
Yeah. Yeah. It's certainly not as good, but
Not as good, but
has its uses.
like redundancy is useful in a deck.
hmm And Applejack generally was it was missing ways to flip, like realistic ways to flip her soon. So
Well, so but this card you can flip like the closest on turn 3.
yeah. Well,
Wait, which Applejack?
sorry.
The
I assumed you
exhaust
were
one or
talking about.
tilled up?
Oh, okay. I assumed you were talking about the exhaust one.
I don't even remember what her flip condition is.
I think there has to be an opposing exhausted character.
Let me quickly check that.
In which case, that doesn't help. Um,
Yeah, it's an opposing one, so. Oh well. Next card?
Next card. Yes, the orange starting problem, which we interestingly didn't see starting in the game that we saw it in, but plenty useful. Anyway, the usual 3 orange, 2 wild, 7 wild uh, profile. Bonus 1, and while none of your characters has a color other than orange, opposing characters can't ready unless their controller pays 1 AT.
Ew. I'll pay 1 AT to ready my Starlight, so I can exhaust her and get 1 AT.
I mean, you do you, I guess. Uh, yeah, if you thought only being able to ready one thing per turn was bad, now you even have to pay an AT to do that.
Yeah. I thought taxing is supposed to be in white. What is this? But yeah, this card is really annoying. It's just as annoying as Fume. So my recommendation: replace as soon as possible.
Pretty
Or give
much.
them other colors. You can give them other colors.
Yeah, it's fair to say that if you see this, your opponent is clearly playing something that's going to be exhausting your characters. Um,
Yeah.
yeah. Yes. Now, Grandpa's points it out, and it's true. This came up during the playtest stream that, as currently worded, or at least as the rules are currently formulated, there's a bit of a problem with this card, which is that you have to ready your characters before you gain your AT for the turn, which would be awful if. Oh, oh, He says that we're actually going to keep it as is, or sorry, keep the card as is, or keep everything as is.
I think. Well, what do you mean everything?
Like we're well, I mean, I guess you can't change the rules. So
I mean, the fix for this card would be probably pretty simple. Is that you make it a trigger and then it works. Like at the start of the turn. No. So this like whenever an opposing character readies, they have to pay 1 or exhaust that character or something like that. Either way. Yes, it's solvable, I'm pretty sure, but I like my blocks of text. I like Magic Arena.
I don't know on the starting problem, especially when all the others are so simple. So, okay, apparently, for those of you who weren't aware, yeah, it's going to stay in its current formulation. So just keep in mind that if you want to ready any of your characters, you will have to save some AT for it. Because
Imagine
you,
doing a double face-off and then this comes up. Ugh.
that's right.
You're playing Scootaloo. Oh no, wait, you would move at the end of the turn, so you can just not move anyone. So your opponent does a double face-off and this comes up, and everyone exhausted, and you're like, ugh, I can't ready anyone because I have 0 AT.
Well, if I was playing Scootaloo, I'd probably still move because it's 2 AT to move versus 1 AT to ready. It's still
Yeah, that's fair. It's kind of like Swift. Anyway, next card.
Yeah, impactful card certainly.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, this card.
Even not as a starting one.
All right, yes, another impactful card. Orange has been getting some good stuff from the reveals we've seen so far. No
Finally,
cheating.
an answer to dilemmas.
Yeah. Flips for 5, costs 1, 2 wreck, goes to your home. When an opponent plays a dilemma, you may exhaust this card to replace that dilemma. Much better than the Cutie Mark Crusaders main that was pay 2 to replace a problem when it comes into play.
Well,
and,
yeah.
Well, yeah, I was just going to finish the Unity text.
Go ahead.
Yeah, so on Unity 7, when an opposing problem leaves play, you may exhaust an opposing character, and that character doesn't ready during its controller's next ready phase.
My favorite part about this card that doesn't stop my silver stream combo, because you don't play a dilemma there, you put the problem into play as a dilemma.
I see.
But either way, I might actually consider splashing into orange in my control decks just for this card, because dilemmas is like one of the primary ways to get around troublemakers, and the only real help against that was like mimics. If you have mimics, you're somewhat safe from them playing dilemmas, except when they have Mitherbrooks, but that's another story. We can talk about that later.
Yeah.
But yeah, but with this card, that's not a problem. If that, like, it is a proactive measure. Like, they won't play dilemmas while this card in play, right? But it's either like they can't play dilemmas, or they have to play more than one, or they have to get rid of this card. So
yeah, and it's not it's a repeatable effect. The cost is simply to exhaust this card.
yeah.
So yeah, it is yeah. As
It's great.
As you said, there really is nothing, no way to play a dilemma while this is out, unless you happen to have more than one.
Yeah.
If you're playing growing confidence, then it's essentially going to be free for you to play the first one. So not that big of an issue for you, I guess.
Too bad this is unique.
Yeah.
Yeah, but also high flip costs 1 and 2 orange. It's like great. I'm pretty sure we'll see this card, if not in many decks, at least in sideboards of many decks.
Oh, yeah, that makes sense. Quite a bit. Orange, looking good.
Yeah. Like, you wouldn't want this card against like a pink-white control, but if you see like a growing confidence against you, oh boy, you're putting 3 of them probably.
Or even I would run this against blue basically every
Yeah,
time that I saw it too. Yeah.
basically any color that has a chance of running dilemmas, which would be blue, yellow, maybe pink. Depends on what kind of pink it is, I suppose. Right, next card.
Next card. Okay. Blue resource from the second game that was played on stream, I think. I'm pretty sure it
Yeah, I
wasn't from the
think so.
first one. Yeah.
Yeah.
Find your wing pony. Cost 1, 3 blue rec, 3 flip. Goes to your home. When one of your non-token Pegasus friends enters play at a problem, pretty important non-token there. You can get pretty crazy without it. You put a 1 blue Pegasus friend token with Swift into play at that problem. At the end of the turn, banish that token friend. It is a well, it's essentially kind of like a power additive for a Pegasus deck.
Yeah. If only there were cards that buffed Pegasi.
Yep. That is only what the Pegasus deck does.
Yeah. Or cards that buffed other cards. I wish we had something like that, but we just don't, so this card is useless.
Notably, yeah, not unique, this one. So feel
Nope.
free to turn your, most of the Pegasi, at least certainly the ones that would go into a Pegasus deck, are already super impactful when they hit play because they have a really good enters play condition. Effectively, well, at least add +1 or +2 power onto there. As mentioned, usually much more than that, given you're going to have a Chillax or the yellow problem or yeah, something that gives extra power to your Pegasi.
Yeah. Like, this card can get out of hand really fast. And it's for every friend, so if you play multiple friends, you get multiple Pegasi, and sometimes you do play multiple friends because aggro tends to have cheap friends, like Snow Dash, or well, any other Pegasus really. Most of them cost either like 1 or 2, with some rare exceptions.
Most of the good ones, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. So Pegasi are going to be even more, well, single turn, heavy bursts of power.
Mm-hmm. The flip is kind of low though, but
everyone's got to have some weakness.
Yeah. 3 is not too bad. It's like your friend.
Yeah.
And blue yellow doesn't flip high anyway. Unless they feel dilemmas, I suppose.
Dilemmas, maybe an event.
Yeah.
Something, but yeah.
Next card?
Next card. Pay it forward. Yes, this is one that came up on Bugle's side during the test stream.
Oh, it's read the manual.
It's very reminiscent of Read the Manual. Not exactly the same thing, and thank goodness for that, but...
Wow. Stop right there. I won't read the manual in Core, right?
I'm sure you would do perfectly fine things with it.
Except banish this card from it, it'll be perfect.
I mean, grandpas can tell you if they're willing to do that or not. This one costs 2, 3 wreck in blue and purple. At immediate speed, you get to pay 2 AT less for your next friend this turn, and also 2 AT less for your next event this turn. So up to a 4 AT discount, which is where the comparison with Read the Manual comes from.
Yeah.
Functionally gains you 2 AT if you manage to take advantage of both of them.
Mm-hmm. So just like Read the Manual, it also gave you 2 AT, I think.
It was cost 3, gain 5, so yeah.
Yeah. Except on this one, you have to play cards. And sometimes, especially in blue-purple, unless you're like playing somewhat aggro, you don't really want to play cards. And the problem with friends is that they're played on your turn, and you generally want to play events not on your turn. So that's my thing, the discard. But other than that, if you're playing like somewhat aggro-ish blue-purple, I think it's great because like you can do things like get a discount on your mullet and then play some event on your opponent's turn to like turn the face off upside down. Or you could play like Daring Do for free on your turn and follow up with like some movement event or something.
Hmm?
Or even in Control, I think it's still pretty good because we have cards like if you're sitting behind Troublemakers, right? You can play that card that like moves 2 things away if it's your main phase. Also, the discount lasts until the end of your turn, so you can like predict face-off tricks. Like if you have this card and you have only 2 AT, and you kind of want like to play a face-off trick when you do a double face-off, you can play this card like play a friend. You'd have 0 AT, but you have like 2 discount for your face-off trick.
Yeah. And there are, well, certainly in purple, there are a number of cards that trigger off of you playing events. So it's useful enough even to just turn one event into 2 sometimes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You could also copy this event. Just saying.
That you could. It does cost 2. Headmare Twilight will copy it.
Yeah, -4 and -4. What could you do with that? I don't know.
Do a lot.
Could play Read the Manual.
Yeah, you could. You read the manual for free, then you. This is definitely starting to sound interesting.
Only in Harmony, though.
Wow, all the fun stuff's in Harmony.
Yeah.
Along with all the unfun stuff, which is the problem.
I don't know. Last tournament results. I love them.
Mm-hmm.
They have tricks in them.
All right.
Okay.
Next card. Yes. Now this is I don't remember if we'd seen a full art version of this one yet. I don't think we had.
No.
Yeah. Orange Friend, Farm Guardian. Cost 2, 2 power, 3 orange wreck. If one of your resources would leave play, you may exhaust this card instead. If you do, this card does not ready during its controller's next ready phase. Sounds vaguely familiar. I feel like there was a card from like one of the early sets that was
You're
like
thinking
this.
of Repair Team, probably?
Maybe. I'm pretty sure the old card retired itself rather than.
That's a Repair Team.
Okay, yeah.
It's a resource. If another one of your resources would be dismissed, you may retire this card instead.
Gotcha.
But this one is a friend. And it's repeatable.
Mm-hmm. Well, every other turn, but yes.
Yeah. Works great against Middlebrook. Like, maybe I should play just orange next after the next set is released. Just
But your orange
spike
Trixie
yellow.
is in Harmony.
Orange what?
Your orange Trixie is in Harmony.
That's true. I can't play orange without Trixie. It's okay. I'll ask Sim. They'll print Trixie for me, right?
I think that's like the exact opposite of how it works, isn't it?
Come on, we need orange entry Trixie reprint. It's like we needed that reprint for a while. Let's be honest.
I would not be opposed to it myself. Anyway, yeah, there's plenty of good resources in Orange. Even
Desert
if
Road.
yeah, Desert Road is one of those that's your opponent's going to want to remove it as soon as possible, and yeah.
Mm-hmm. Another, well, like not necessarily orange because you're not just playing mono orange, and listing all of the resources you could save with this would take a while because it's a lot of resources. Resources is a very important card type for this game, and it's nice to have some protection for them because don't really see things like that very often, right? There's usually no way to protect your resources. There are ways to protect your friends, but not really resources.
Pretty much.
And I guess that's kind of why Stick was so good. Well, why people started to like put so much resource removal against sticks. So now we are kind of in this situation where everybody runs resource removals and your resources, like you can't really rely on them anymore. And hopefully this card fixes that, like Brian helped with against pink. Like Brian was a card that everybody loves.
Could be, yeah. Does require a little bit of an investment into Orange, but
It is repeatable.
Yeah.
And with Rainbow Shine, you can actually use it more than every other
I guess
turn.
so, yeah.
And maybe we'll have other ready cards. Who knows? I think we've seen one, right?
I think so. I vaguely remember something to that effect, but I don't know which.
Yeah.
Anyway.
Next card.
Next card. Yes. So now we get into the chaos control that Bugle was running in his playtest deck. In this case, Spike and Gabby, orange pink, cost 2 power, 1 Rex. Chaos ability, when his card is flipped, flip an additional card. Pretty good. And during face-offs, flip an additional card, then choose and ignore one of your flipped cards. Another kind of blast from the past piece of text. That was something back in like Premiere, kind of a lot nice. I don't remember the card.
So random.
Yeah, indeed. But as pointed out during the stream, very good if both your cards have chaos text because those will both go off.
Yeah, because it triggers and only then you ignore it. So triggers don't care if you count the cards with a face-off or not. They just trigger.
Yep. And so, yeah, Bugle was doing stuff with Pinky Sense and putting cards on top of his deck, and then, well, yeah, gets to win the face-off and do a bunch of chaos stuff too.
Mm-hmm.
And this card is a relatively early drop in an orange-pink deck at a nice low rec spot, so relatively easy to set up.
Yeah. Don't have training traditions anymore, unfortunately, but still pretty easy.
Yeah, there are enough other ways to get there with most speech and rushed makeover and let me see what else is there.
Well, there's speech, fire, rushed makeover,
Fire. That's right.
sclerite,
Yeah. Oh, well, yeah. Sclerite would work too.
rainbow. Well, there's a lot of entry cards.
There's actually a lot now.
So do you think we have enough like good chaos effects? Like chaos decks are good and all, but for a chaos deck to work, you need to have actual chaos effects that you want to run.
Yeah, I know that was a problem going into this set. There weren't a lot of great ones. Didn't
Well,
we?
we got Chaos Magic Blast, which is a
Yeah,
removal.
yeah. That was the one we saw on the playtest stream, which is like that's definitely good. That
But that's just one card.
that's one card, yes.
There's standard tabs, but he's not really
Yeah, no, you need
controlling anything.
for chaos control, you need stuff that you know. I think it's pretty clear we're not going to get another Cheerily. Um, the absolute Discord one that
Oh yes,
ends our
I
face
want
off
another
when.
Cheerily.
No, that's not going to happen.
Oh.
So yeah, you want
Can we at least
something.
have Doctor Hooves? Get cards back from the bottom?
No, I don't think so either. We've been like we know that chaos control, as much as it's going to exist in New Dawn, is going to feel and look different from the way it did in the past, and is also probably not going to be as good as it was in the past, but still worth playing, or at least worth experimenting with. So
Yeah.
We're going to need probably one or two more removal type effects like we have with Chaos Magic Blast. Because yeah, that's what Chaos Control needs to do. Is it needs a source of removal so that the opponent doesn't just kind of keep building up on you.
Yeah. I think Discord was a fun card for that. It wasn't like removal necessarily, but it worked nicely. I don't remember from which side it is, but its chaos was like you choose a friend and only that friend remains involved in the face-off. That was fun.
Was that the white Discord?
Yeah, it's the white Discord.
Shoot, which set was that? Marks in Time? Or it was an SR. But I don't remember which set that was. Or was it?
I think it was High Magic.
It was EO,
EO.
apparently.
EO, okay.
CP tells us. That actually makes sense, yeah. Alrighty. Moving on.
Yep.
Alright. Now, our usual ordering isn't quite gonna hold up this stream. Because as I said, I totally lost track of which cards were spoiled when and whatever.
Yeah.
So here's a full art Applejack. Super Unity Applejack. Cost 4 rec, 3 orange. Your friends with 4 or more power can't be frightened or dismissed. That's Appaloosa, I believe.
Mm-hmm.
Yep. And then the 15 orange Unity. At the start of your turn, put a +1 power counter on each of your friends. That's pretty good.
Sounds good.
Yeah.
I wish it said characters, but oh well.
It's fine.
For Unity 15, you might as well have a character, right?
Yeah. So, first card I thought of actually was the UR Applejack from last set, which the remove a +1 power counter from one of your Earth ponies to make it unable to leave play this turn.
Yeah. But if you can give everyone like persistent, they'll be pretty good enough if all of your friends are 4 or more.
Mm-hmm. Also true, yeah.
Because of can't be frightened. Like before this, we only had Ember, right? That did that to dragons.
Yeah.
Or something like that.
Well, Ember was everybody with a +1 power counter on them, yeah.
Oh. Well, Ember works well with this.
Yeah.
One interesting thing is that once this gets going, it'll be pretty hard to... Like, if your opponent got Unity 15 and triggered this card, Next turn, they'll have even more unity.
Mm-hmm. And this
So
card won't be able to be frightened or dismissed because it'll have 4 power.
Yes, so it'll be pretty hard to get rid of. But at least it triggers at the start of your turn, so your opponent has time to react.
Mm-hmm.
It's not immediate.
Not unless you manage to hasty this card out somehow, but...
Yeah, you'd need a lot of setup for that.
Yeah, probably
because that's like blue or pink and 480.
Oh, yeah, actually...
Yeah, shovel works.
Yeah, shovel works pretty well. And is usually included in orange decks of this type, I'd imagine. I feel like a ability loss is probably a pretty good counter to this. Limestone's still in the game.
It's a trigger at the start of the turn.
Oh, shoot, that's right.
So Limestone does absolutely nothing. Well, it does remove the can't be frightened or dismissed part, but not much else.
Oh, shoot. Yeah, that's probably... That's deliberate that it's that way. There's not much you can... I mean, yeah. Aside from all the other forms of removal that aren't covered by the top text, yes.
Well, all the other forms of removal don't work if you have 2 of them and the Applejack ultra rare, because then they're just immortal. Because you get 2 counters and then you remove a counter during your turn. Well, I guess they have the priority window before you do that, so because Applejack's ability is immediate, right? If I remember correctly. So you use it, and then they have on one friend, and then they have the priority.
Yeah.
And then you can only then you can do something. So yeah, immortality is kind of hard.
As it probably should be.
Yeah.
Yes, and yeah, Grandpa's points out. Yeah, given the world that we're in, yellow is not going anywhere. Unsatisfactory work. You know, orange's Achilles' heel will always be that its friends are usually very expensive, and so vulnerable to getting bounced.
But if this card stays on the board for a while,
Alrighty.
Like having a passive +1 power, like from a resource, like a fast food or something, is already quite powerful. But this is a permanent +1.
Yeah. All right.
Next card.
Alrighty. Yes. Rock and roll showed up in Bugle's deck. Orange purple. Flips for 5. 3 rat cost 2. Immediate, but a friend or troublemaker on the bottom of its owner's deck.
No, troublemaker removal.
Yeah.
Purple, you're supposed to defeat the evil, not join it.
I mean, I feel like people on the other side of the aisle might say the same thing. Anyway, and it is troublemaker removal that is good against all troublemakers, even the ones that might like to get banished or dismissed. Bottom of the deck is bottom of the deck is usually, for most intents and purposes, gone forever, unless the game goes forever or the deck gets shuffled or you have a way of accessing the bottom of your deck.
Yeah, that's still really I would argue that getting cards from discard pile is easier than getting them from the bottom of your deck.
Generally, yeah.
So, against certain colors, this card is worse than, better than dismissing a friend. Well, dismissing a thing. Also works on friends, which is very important, and I think that's what it will be used for most of the things. Because if you purple doesn't really have much removal, right? Neither does orange. Orange got its new card, which is like Drop Dead Tyrant. I'm not sure if the like official name was revealed for it yet, but
I don't
it was Drop
think
Dead
so.
Tyrant.
Yeah.
Yeah. And it has like that new event that we saw earlier, dismisses an exhausted friend. But that's like kind of removal, right? This is straight up removal in orange and purple, and orange purple really likes Troublemaker, either counter farming or just a Troublemaker control. Yes, Drop the Tyrant has a new name, but I'm not sure if it was revealed yet, so and I'm not sure when it's gonna be revealed.
Maybe it was. Now I'm starting to wonder if maybe I did see a full art version. Okay. Apparently not.
GP says it hasn't been. Okay.
Okay.
Either way, it's not really relevant. So that's the thing. It's an extra way to remove, and a pretty good way to remove. And the Troublemaker part, I think, is not for getting around your opponent's Troublemaker, but to get rid of their epics so you have your own. That's the way I see this card.
It's plenty useful too. It feels a lot like, in a sense, feels a little bit like Portal, in that it's a nice and simple piece of text, but has a lot of applications.
Yeah.
Either
And it's very cheap too, and a great flip. So, and it features one of my favorite colors. So,
yeah.
I like this card.
We'll have to see when it gets properly flavored.
See, the more I see new cards, right, the more I want to switch from my blue, purple, white to either blue, purple, orange or orange, purple, white. Basically, I want to have orange.
Well,
It has so many good tools now.
I definitely agree with you there. Orange looks way strong. It's tough to say exactly what the direction will go. Or yeah, I'd love to play orange purple again.
Yeah. Maybe Troublemaker Control still has a chance to live, even despite all those yellow cards.
Yeah. Well, speaking of, let's see. Shoot. I don't know if that card's coming up
No,
next.
it's white.
Yeah. All right.
It's a cheerleader.
Oh yeah, that's the next card we had up. Okay. Yeah. Right. Yeah, this one. It came up like tangentially during the playtest stream, but it was dropped during the art bundle that came afterwards. That's where I saw it at first. Cheerleader Sandbar, very similar to the rest of the cheerleader cycle we've seen so far, with the usual competitive one. In this case, when this card enters play, if you have a cheerleader friend with a different name, you may put a friend from your discard pile into your hand. We were just talking about how easy it is to get stuff out of your discard pile.
Yeah. This seems like the more powerful cheerleader effect compared to others we've seen.
Yeah. I mean, we saw during the stream, Silver Stream used as a Berry Punch and Orange Swirl.
Yeah.
Which, yeah.
But getting stuff back is pretty good.
Generally speaking.
You do have to have another cheerleader friend, though, which could be hard. Like, the condition is harsh. I guess depends on what you play. If you play like a dedicated cheerleader deck, then it's not as hard.
It's true.
Now we need the cheerleader main, so all this card just work with this main. It has competitive 1 and some other stuff. It has like all your cheerleaders have +1, like that Twilight with alicorns.
I mean, I don't even know if that would necessarily be busted. It'd be the kind of thing that, like, if cheerleaders go nowhere in this set, maybe we'll get something like that in the future.
So yeah, ultra rare cheerleader main when. Maybe that's the flitter Bugle always wanted.
Oh.
Next card?
Next card, yeah. Okay. Yeah, didn't see this one get played, unfortunately. Cutie Call. Cost 2, 6 flip, main phase. Search your deck for a friend with Applejack, Fluttershy, Pinkie Pie, Rainbow Dash, Rarity, or Twilight Sparkle in its name. Reveal that friend, put it in your hand, shuffle your deck. Very simple. Tutor for not
For spite.
necessarily, yes, not necessarily a member of the main six. There are a couple of corner cases where cards have these words in their name and aren't actually one of them.
Yep.
But functionally, especially in core, I think in core you're searching for a member of the main six.
You know, one thing that I didn't like about PFF is that it had that 4 rec.
Uh-huh.
This doesn't have 4 rec. It has other restrictions. But what if my combo runs some of the main 6? So yeah, seeing more tutors is nice. I know that most people don't care about combos and probably think about how to use this card outside of that. But when I see a tutor,
Yeah.
I will use it when I can.
Yeah. Yeah. There's a lot of well, perhaps unsurprisingly, there's a lot of cards in this game that have these characters' names in them. I guess big ones just from this set would be your Ultimate Unities.
Yeah.
Pretty useful to find those when you've got the 15 ready to go, generally speaking. Let's see, what else is there?
I mean, finding the Pinky Professor when you really need it could be very useful.
Hmm.
But I think it just depends. Like, if you have enough main 6 friends that you kind of want to get on demand, you run this card, and otherwise you don't.
Pretty much, yeah.
Also, with professors, this is a way to find entry. So it works kind of like Torch Song.
Hmm.
And flips for 6.
And flips for 6. Not bad at all on that front.
Second highest.
Yeah. Let me see. I guess the farming decks, like the blue farming decks, this can search up Captain Jack, which can be useful.
Orange farming decks could find all of the Applejacks they're running in Harmony.
Uh-huh.
There's so many Applejacks. There's Lasso Champion, there's Carbalor.
Yeah. Let me see. Anything else?
But like that's the thing. You don't like in a farming deck. Why would you need to search for a card instead of like relying on draw things? Because you usually build a deck in a way where you don't really care what you draw. Like you do care what you draw, but you try to build a deck so it's consistent and you don't really rely on any particular single card. So that's why people don't really run like PFF, right, and straight decks that are not combo, because searching things is not always what you really need in a deck.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, I can think of situations where this kind of becomes like a bit of a two-cost gyro, where you're searching up a specific answer to a problem that you need to solve.
Yeah.
Like finding the Pinkie Pie and Twilight that replaces a problem, say for example.
Yeah.
Yeah. But I mean, yeah, that's control, not farming anyway. So
I think that's interesting with sideboards because you only include like 1 or 2 cards from a sideboard, right? And so if it just so happens that your sideboard swaps between main 6 cards, right? for instance, you could have like a beta switch or a Captain Jack in a pink-orange deck, right? And you can have like 1 or 2 copies of which are either sideboarded or not. You can use this card like as a wild card that just finds you the sideboarded card, no matter how many of them you have.
Yeah, it's fair to say that when there are more effective tutors in the game, then your sideboard choices get magnified by the fact that you can find them easier.
Yeah. So yeah.
Interesting. Alrighty.
Weird that it includes Applejack there. I thought she's a background pony.
Okay. Next card. Yeah, another card we didn't actually get to see played during the playtest stream, I'm pretty sure, but Boomerang. Cost 2, 4/4. Is this the first 4/4 rec we've seen of New Dawn? I think it is.
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah. Flips for 3. Main phase, put one of your friends into its owner's hand. You may pay 2 AT less to play that friend this turn. Deservedly so at the 4/4 rec, because there's some nasty stuff you can do with this.
So when are we banning Middlebrook?
I mean, yeah, there's that. I mean, yeah, for some friends, this is effectively a main phase portal your own thing.
Yeah, it's a portal.
In blue and yellow.
It's a main phase portal in blue and yellow,
Yeah.
exactly. But how many things blue and yellow actually wants to portal? There's Mullet. There is Middlebrook. What other interplay they have?
Blue and yellow. And it's got to be a friend that you would want to.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
A loyal pony.
Yeah.
Kind
oh
of,
yeah. Yeah. All those.
Cursed, you should know. You played the deck with Celestia, which like was a portal deck, but not.
Yeah. Even one of your frightened bunyips would work just fine.
Ooh. It costs 2 instead of 1, or instead of 3, I guess.
Oh, well, so yeah. I mean, yeah, that's still better than nothing. And plus, it's at home, so you don't have to move it as well.
Yeah.
So that would have been, let's see, 2. Yeah. Anyway, yeah, blue is chock full of enters play abilities. Usually stuff that moves stuff.
Outside of blue, Professor of Laughter is pretty good with this.
Yeah.
Oh no, retrigger, find your own wing pony. No.
Yeah. There's all that stuff that triggers when stuff enters play.
You know the real pro play though? You play Cloud Chase and Fleeter, you exhaust them. You play this on them. And then you play them for 1. Oh no, then you play some other friend for 1 cheaper. And then you play Cloud Chase and Fleeter for 2. For 0, I mean.
I might need that drawn out for me. Sorry. I mean, yeah, lots of discounts.
It's 180 for 1 card, I think, but
yeah,
you can do it. Either way, yeah, glad this is 4/4, and I'm glad that I will only see this in like 1 color combination, because I don't like seeing Middlebrooks more than once, more than 0 times, really.
Yeah. Generally, in the past, the 4/4 rec cards haven't seen a whole lot of use.
This is blue-yellow, keeping that in mind.
Yeah, that's true.
It doesn't have trouble with getting a lot of power. Like, Chillax and Cloud Chase and Fleeter is enough to have 4/4. And most of the blue-yellow decks have enough of both colors to really... Like, I don't think 4/4 yellow is really a problem for blue-yellow.
This is the first ever 4/4 blue-yellow card, I'm pretty sure, right? Pretty sure. Because we had... Well, okay, what have we had so far? There was Mudbriar, there was Sunset, there was Moondancer.
I mean, there were cards from Yeah, I think that had. I mean, Marks or MT that had. Oh, Marks and High Magic that had 4 Rex, like Moon
Yeah.
Dancer, but I don't remember if there were any blue yellow.
No, I don't think so. Anyway, we can find out after the stream. Okay,
Yep.
moving on. Okay, yes. Dr. Hooves came down during the stream. Full art was shown to us later. Blue purple, cost 2, power 2, 1 rec. Meticulous 1. Getting back into having a few more sources of Meticulous around. And when you put a card on top of your deck, you may move this card.
Aggro.
Aggro, kind of, yeah.
Though I think my deck would love this thing because, like, one of the things with farm is that you have to have friends at troublemakers you fight. And with blue, purple, white especially, you have like Embers and Flash Magnum's Shield. So it doesn't really matter what friend you have. At least you have you have to have something there. You don't care what it is and how much power it has. So this card fits kind of nicely into that. You just move it at the start of your turn.
Yep. Plenty of ways to make that happen, not least of which its own Meticulous. But also a fair number of ways to put stuff on top of the deck these days.
Yeah, so
immediate
you
speed.
farm one troublemaker, then you play same damn delivery, farm another one.
Wow, that's especially in that deck with all the face-off tricks. It's starting to sound pretty good.
Yeah. Cool card. I think it fits nicely in both like troublemaker control kind of deck and if it's not farming, I guess it's not as relevant. But and like more aggro-ish blue purple. Because blue purple can aggro.
Oh, absolutely. With Daring Do and shoot.
And
go ahead.
I want to say that you don't even have to use the ability. Having like Meticulous 1 is also nice too.
Yeah. In this day and age where Meticulous is, I mean, everyone knows how good Meticulous is, but there's so few cards that do it.
Yeah, it's hard to come by.
Yeah.
Especially with Old Money Gun. Old Money was like the primary source of Meticulous in the last year before she got banned. So yeah, cool card. I love my blue purple.
All right. Okay, yes. Fluttershy Bulk Biceps. Another card from that same art dump. 3 cost, 3 power, blue and yellow, of course. Speaking of cards that'll get you to 4/4 blue yellow easily enough. 1 rec on both. Hasty. And when you win a face off involving this card, you may retire one of your Pegasus friends here to score a point.
Remember that resource that gave you Pegasi?
Pegasi that are only going to last till the end of the turn anyway, yeah.
Yeah, so this is Kratos of blue yellow. Or Kratos, or whatever his name was.
However you decide to pronounce it, yeah.
Yeah, that one retired the Creator and Confront. This one is thankfully only on face-off, so it's not as good. Well, maybe it is as good, but... It's also hasty. You can play it as a face-off trick.
Yep. Only when you're about to win the face-off.
So imagine this situation. You have a free bonus problem, right? And you're winning that face-off. But they play this card, put a Pegasi into play, win the face-off, get 3 points, retire Pegasi and get the 4th one.
That's a big oof.
I don't want that to happen to me. So when are we removing yellow from the game?
No, no time soon. I mean, admittedly, it's had a good run now for the past 3 sets. It's about back to even, I'd say, for getting paid back for all the times that it was complete garbage.
Well, even would be like more like how many sets it was bad? Like 8. So it needs to be good for 8 sets. So
well, yeah. I
we're
mean,
in it for a while.
it was too good for one set, so I think you can maybe give it a couple of bonus points on that. But yeah, yellow is not going away anytime soon.
Yeah, nah.
I
I mean, that's good.
Yeah, it does useful things for the game. But yeah, in this case, yellow, admittedly, as a color, is not particularly great at winning face-offs. Blue yellow is though, because blue is amazing at winning face-offs. So yeah, and in blue yellow Pegasi, you're gonna have no shortage of friends to retire. I believe Kratos required you to retire a critter friend here. Oh yeah,
Yes.
this card does as well. Okay, yeah. But chances are you'll have a
But I mean,
Pegasus friend here.
the Wing Pony card
Yeah,
is
Wing Pony will
gets
do
you
it
there.
just fine. Yeah.
All right, next
All
card.
right, next card. Okay, yes. I'm thinking of yeah. Anyway, cheerleading outfit.
Zero cost accessory. What's
Zero
that?
cost accessory. Absolutely. Play on a friend. That friend has competitive 1 and is a cheerleader, in addition to its other traits. Yeah, functionally flips 3 as well. By the way, functionally does what the cheerleader trait does to all of the other friends that have it. Gives it competitive 1 and is a quick and easy way to trigger the next cheerleader you're playing.
Yeah, for the cost of 1 card. The zero cost, though, I think it's way more interesting than the cheerleader trait. What can you do with the zero cost resource? That is also an accessory, which is very relevant.
Yeah. Well, I guess given the new rarity, this is a relatively unimpressive resource to end up on all of your friends, but can be done.
Yeah. You can also donate it.
Yeah. That's also very true.
Because, like, competitive 1 is not too bad.
Well, donate the resource, I assume you mean, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. So you still get the competitive 1.
Oh, well, if you play it on your friend, yeah, that's right.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, I'm not sure why I was thinking otherwise. I mean, this card doesn't restrict you to play it on your opposing friend,
It's
so...
true, yeah.
I can't really imagine a situation where you would play it on the opposing friend unless you want them to have cheerleader. I don't know.
Let me see here. Okay, I mean, I think there may be some situations, but they're going to be incredibly contrived. So, yeah. But yeah.
So yeah.
Yeah, I mean, the thing that was sort of holding back, well, I don't want to say holding back because we haven't seen the decks in use yet, but like theoretically holding back cheerleaders was the fact that it looked like you were going to have to run a whole bunch of different colors to make it work.
Yeah.
And this is another easy way to get your cheerleaders to have value.
Yeah.
And any color can run it. So easy enough to do.
Could run like monocolor white deck or something, or pink. Basically allowing it to be monocolor, or like even dual color. You don't have to run more cheerleaders of colors. Makes this pretty good. And also, I think, like, if you have a non-repeatable resource removal, would you target this one? Like, my point here is that it will probably not have like a big target on its head, so it might even stick for a while.
Yeah.
Despite it being accessory.
It would depend on the, like, which color we're talking about. What exactly is it? The status of its resource removal.
Yeah.
But yeah, this one as a relatively unimpressive resource on its own probably wouldn't get hit by hyper beams or that sort of thing.
Yeah. Next
card. Okay, here it is. Yes. Okay, we were talking about Meadowbrook the whole time. This is that card, right? Yes, this is that card. Mind
yes.
Palace. Was for 3, cost 2, 4 orange rec. Unique resource that goes to home. As an opponent plays a card, you may pay 1 and banish this card. If you do, search that opponent's hand, deck, and discard pile for any number of cards with the same name as that card and banish them. It's Destiny Drain, but not quite the same thing.
They still keep 1 card.
Mm-hmm.
Actually, if it's an event, they don't, I think. Basically, if it's not something that enters play for any reason, they don't keep it. Because it will end up in the discard pile first.
Yeah, it will go to discard pile Wait, okay. The way that as triggers resolve is always weird. Like this.
Oh, this is an as trigger.
Yeah, this is an as. This will resolve while that's in the Q zone.
Yeah, that's true. So they do keep 1 copy, but that's good enough for me. Mm-hmm. See, even in like, I don't think I'm playing any colors except orange once this releases, because I wish this card was purple, but it's orange, and all the other stuff is orange too.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, it costs also exactly the same as Destiny Drain and has like the kind of same end result, that it is banished and costed 3 to get rid of things. Also gives you perfect knowledge of their hand and deck, which could be very useful.
Yep.
Which, like, one thing I really liked about Destiny Drain is that it reveals you the entire information about, like, you know everything. You know your opponent's hand, you know exactly what they have in their deck, and things like that. Very useful.
Mm-hmm. And so yeah, this, I mean, yeah, there are lots of different cards that you can imagine this played on. I mentioned Meadowbrooks all this time before. In various other matchups, any really big high impact card that sort of is one of your opponent's outs in the matchup, they have to play it first, so they will get it once, guaranteed. But from there on out, all the other copies are gone.
The thing is that as all proactive cards have this problem, is that your opponents will just not play things until they get rid of this card.
Mm-hmm.
So, like, Destiny Drain, you just use it and it happened. This thing, you probably won't be able to catch Middlebrook with this, because your opponent just won't play Middlebrook until this card is gone.
Mm-hmm. Or until they believe that they only need the one to win the game.
Yeah. So it kind of works like Desert Road, I would say, in a way that until it is removed, your opponent, like, gets no benefits from things or doesn't play cards.
Mm-hmm.
Basically, my point here is that it doesn't really counter things, but more delays them until they can deal with this card. Just like with all proactive cards.
Yeah, which, as Grandpa points out in the chat, delay is sometimes good enough.
Yeah.
If they don't play the Meadowbrooks, then functionally you've gotten rid of all of them, rather than
but
one.
Until a certain point, which is
until they get rid of this card. Yes, exactly. Which is why you do the card that keeps a resource in play. And
okay, I'm now building a Middlebrook hate deck. It has Desert Road, it has this card, it has all of the other stuff that deals with Middlebrook. Like, it runs Chrysalis main, of course.
Mm-hmm.
So, like, to play Middlebrook, to even think of playing Middlebrook, they have to go for like 7 rings of torture,
That's a
of
fair
removing a
point.
bunch of resources I have.
Orange White
Like,
put together has a lot of really bad stuff in it for that kind of stuff. I mean, admittedly, you're playing white main and a couple of 4-rec orange resources, but
that's fine. I will make it work. I will
yeah,
have to make it work.
like I'm actually, I don't know if you're kidding or not. I'm actually thinking this might be a legitimate.
Oh, so you also have Stygian, so you have like 4 Desert Roads in play, and then you have this card, so they can't ever play Middlebrook because they would have to get rid of all of the resources first. It's kind of ironic that you need to get rid of all of the resources
So that you
before you
can
can
get
get
rid of
rid
all
of
the
all of the
resources.
resources. Oh, I love this. I love it. I'm building that. That's the first deck I will be playing.
Okay, and this is, I believe, only the second ultra rare we've seen so far from this set. We had Luster, and we had this,
Yeah, I think so.
and then we'll have the next card.
Yeah.
Which was abortively revealed a couple of times during that stream, and then finally played. And yeah, it is as well as I had suspected. Our 3-point epic that is the entirety of the 3 villains. Legion of Doom, Triad of Terror, 7 flip, 3 points. Unique, as was pointed out during the stream, which is not something that happens often.
Sad.
And yeah, at the start of your turn, put a fear counter on an opponent's main character, then frighten an opposing friend here. Simple enough. Opponents have -1 power during face-offs for each fear counter on their main character. And then, when this card leaves play or is turned face down, remove 3 fear counters from each opposing main character.
Yes.
So, if this sticks around for less than 3 turns, then when it goes away, everything goes back to normal, except that the stuff is still frightened, presumably. But if it sticks around for more than 3 turns, it'll have a permanent effect.
Well, as long as it is in play, because the fear counters don't do anything by themselves.
That's fair enough, yeah.
But having minus during all of the face-offs, not just this card, it's any face-off ever, as long as this card is in play, is pretty good. Pretty good.
Mm-hmm.
I will go with pretty good. It includes your face-offs, like if you're playing this in a farming deck, they would have -X power for you fighting against this card. It's kind of like Ember. It's exactly like Ember or Flash Magnus Shield.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Except it subtracts their power. So, like, if they have 1 power total and they have like 4 counters, that have 0. So
yeah. It's different in that it has a limit in how effective it can be, but not. It's a pretty far off limit. You need a lot of counters before this starts. Getting to the point where more counters don't do anything.
Yeah. And even small amount of counters is pretty good. Like -1 or -2 is quite impactful. -3 is like having an Ember in play, which is pre AT and very annoying for opponents.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And frightening a friend every turn makes this card really hard to fight.
Yeah, very difficult to build up there and eventually reach a point where you can defeat it.
Mm-hmm.
Much more likely that your blue opponent is just going to retire some Pegasi and score the 3 points anyway.
Frightened friends don't have traits.
This is true. True.
Also, if you're running this card, you'd probably be having tricks to defend it, because you don't want to give 3 points to the opponent, yeah. You either want them for yourself, or not.
Pretty much, yeah. Excuse me for saying so. This is kind of I'm seeing this and I'm kind of fixating on it. Is the trait text crooked? It kind of looks like it rises as it goes to the right. Am I just?
don't know.
Oh, maybe
But
it's.
so the thing is, you told me that, and now I could be seeing that, not because it's actually there, but because you told me that.
No, maybe it's good. Maybe it's fine. Like comparing to the background art, it's on the same baseline. I think it's okay. I mean, that's something that I'm sure Aura would have caught if it was true. Anyway, must be just a mistake of mine.
Yeah, I think it's straight.
Anyway, sorry for interrupting there.
Yeah, great card.
Mm-hmm. Yep. As you would expect from the epic for the set. Um, it's no Grogar, but we
It's quite up on, like, it's Groger is a high bar, right?
yeah.
Like Pony of Shadows is a good epic. This is better, I think, despite it having 3 points of value.
Mm-hmm.
But it's an epic. You'll probably be fighting it yourself. Like, I don't think you put this in a deck that doesn't fight your own troublemakers, but you definitely put it in a deck that fights your own troublemakers.
Oh yeah. 3-point epics.
So,
yeah.
Yeah, Nightmare Moon.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Especially as a 3-point epic that has no negative effect for you. Right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Like farming decks in the past would absolutely run the 2-point epics that had minimal negative effects for you. This, yeah.
Funnily enough, though, this card would be even better if it had 0 points and no free. It's one of those weird cases where less points is better.
Yeah, that's true. That's absolutely true. Alrighty.
Next card.
Next card. Granny Smith.
Oh, it's this combo card.
Yeah, blue-white. Multicolor. Choose all over the place. And when you play this card, choose one of your friends. Then an opponent chooses one of their friends. Start a face-off involving those friends. If you win, this card goes into your hand. And the second and rather important ability, players can't play cards or activate abilities during face-offs started by this card. I mentioned hot takes, cocked my head as soon as I read that activate abilities thing because I had missed it the first time. That's pretty good.
Goodbye, Sunset. Sunset was one of those annoying cards where you kind of don't want to start the face-off.
Mm-hmm.
This card kind of disables that. Obviously, we can't have any face-off tricks, only triggers. It's kind of like EEH just for the face-off.
Yeah. For those who may be confused at the exact wording there, yes. So this will only block activated abilities. Triggers will still fire.
Yeah, activated abilities are things that have timings in front of them, like immediate or main phase or face off, if you remember those.
Mm-hmm,
Mostly immediate and main phase nowadays.
Yeah.
That's activated abilities, unless they're on event. On event, those are just events. But yeah, with this card, you can't play events anyway, so it doesn't really matter.
Yep. And so yeah, what did we see Grandpa's doing with this during the playtest stream?
So on stream, we saw him play this on a Daybreaker to score points from every face-off. And he also had me Sunburst and what's her name? Starlit Glimmer to give Daybreaker. What's the name of that ability?
Studious.
It's Studious. There we go. to basically whenever he wins a face-off with this card, he scores a point and gains 1 AT. And he also had Cadence in play, well, through Chrysalis, but it was kind of Cadence, which reduced the cost of his friends by 1 to a minimum of 1, right? That's what Cadence does. So he would play this card for 1 AT, start a face-off, win that face-off, score a point, get 1 AT, and put this card back into his hand and repeat the process until you're at 15, which is pretty good. I like scoring points for free. Doesn't require that much of a setup, even. You need only like 3 cards, 4 cards. No,
Daybreaker in
5 cards.
play.
Yeah, Daybreaker, Cadence, Starlight. I don't think you need Sunburst even.
No.
I think Starlight is enough.
Starlight. This in hand and need an opposing friend to challenge.
Yeah. So not a lot of setup.
Yeah.
I'm more curious if, like, do you, outside of combo, would you like to run this card? And if yes, why?
Well, I mean, you need something. You need. I mean, yeah, you need to have a friend like Daybreaker on your side, or some reason why starting a face off and presumably winning it would be a good thing.
Yep.
Which outside of Daybreaker, what other cards are there like that? This is an Earth Pony, so there's no.
Well, there's Cthulhu, which has, I think, exactly the same text as Daybreaker. When you win the face off, you score a point. It's blue-white and has prepared too, I think.
Oh, right.
4 power for cost.
That
It's
one.
kind of
Yeah.
worse than Daybreaker, but it gets you there.
So there are studious friends in general, although like I don't see that going any direction other than combo.
Yeah, like
um,
Studios just makes this card 1 cheaper, which is hooray! You can play this friend for 180 instead of 2. And if you're doing all that, you might as well go combo. So
yeah, because functionally all that combo is doing really is just turning this card into a fashion week that
yeah,
that doesn't have the restriction that the old showdowns had, and only you score the point if you win.
what restrictions Old Showdowns has?
That you had to challenge someone who had greater power than your friend.
Oh yeah, that's right. I forgot about that. Yeah, but this comes at the cost that they choose the friend. So if you're like against orange, good luck.
Yeah.
Even Daybreaker won't help you. Like if they have 16 power Rock Hoof, good luck.
Fair enough. Yeah. Yeah. So that and yeah, that's probably one of the major reasons why this is being printed and allowed to exist. That
Yeah.
combo is not quite so free as it may appear.
Yeah. And like you can remove Daybreaker in between Granny Smiths, like face off ends. And then you get the priority, I'm pretty sure.
You should. Yeah.
And then you can remove whatever they have. So fragile too.
Yeah.
But I guess it can be saved with EEA. Because
I mean, yeah, that's true.
all happens in main phase. We'll see where this goes.
It's interesting either way.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The thing here is, though, unlike like Pinkie Pie, this card is more one-sided, I would say. Like it either goes in that deck or doesn't.
At the moment, yeah, I'd probably have
At the
to agree
moment.
with you. Yeah.
With Pinkie Pie, I could see her being used outside of combo. But I guess you could run this as an like alternative win condition, since it doesn't require you that many cards.
Yeah, maybe. Blue white
Yep.
was like such a weird color combination. Like it's been the super fast aggro before.
Mm-hmm. with like Bluna, Rarity, Daring
yeah,
Do. Okay, Yearling, sorry.
right.
That was her name.
But in the last few sets, it hasn't been a whole lot of anything really.
Yeah.
So could be interesting to see it again. Alrighty. Next card. Rallying Cry. Right. Cost 3, 4 flip, 3 wreck pink and white. Choose a player at immediate speed. Till the end of the turn, when that player scores 1 or more points, you may put a friend with cost 2 or less from your discard pile into play. Now, as was mentioned during the stream, points are scored in batches rather than one at a time. So worth pointing that out. If the opponent wins a face off with like a 3 bonus or whatever, you'll only get one thing back from your discard pile for that instance.
Still get for every confront.
Yeah.
And with this card being immediate, I think you're guaranteed to. Well, I wouldn't say like guaranteed, but most of the time you are guaranteed that you'll get at least one thing out of it. You just play it before they confront.
Yeah.
Most of the decks can't prevent their own confronts.
Yeah. This isn't the same thing as what's the card? It was
High Alert?
High Alert, yes, where you play it and then the opponent has to make the choice like, oh, well, am I going to play stuff or not? You can play this when they've just about walked right into it, and most, as you say, most decks don't really have an ability to stop themselves from confronting at immediate speed once they've already got to the score phase.
You could also play a card that scores your opponent's points to force them to get things from your discard pile, like Matilda or something.
Fair enough, yeah. That would work.
The vote.
Uh-huh.
I don't know. Maybe there's a combo somewhere here. You get a bunch of friends from your discard pile at the cost of losing the game because your opponent will get to 15 points. Oh, but you just give them Phyllis. There we go. Just keep giving them Phyllises. So they don't score 15. They always have like -2.
If this exists,
there we go.
This sounds hilarious. Some sort of combo that relies on winning the game for your opponent but not allowing them to actually win.
It's the next meta deck, I'm sure.
Yeah. But yeah, as we know from Tender Taps before, this is very similar to his Chaos effect. There are lots of great things you can get back out of your discard pile with cost 2 or less, especially in these two colors.
Yep. Bodyguards, Salina Blue, Rainbow Shine. Well, those are not white, pink, but probably we'll see this card in the pink, white, purple deck. In just pink, white, though, well, there's Professor of Lothar. I think like pink in general just has good stuff. White less so.
Yeah, that would be an interesting usage for it, honestly. Yes, something that they're walking into a DFO, they confront one problem, you get back a thing that stops them from confronting the other problem. Yeah.
Yeah, like Silverstream that retires.
Yeah, exactly. Anyway, yeah, interesting card.
3 is a lot though, but I guess you'll be getting most of the value back from it.
Yeah. Well, if you get one thing out of your discard pile, I mean, that's not quite the same thing as saving 2 AT, because getting things out of your discard pile usually costs more than the cost of the thing that went in there.
Yeah.
So it's probably worth it if you get one thing back.
Tender Taps cost 3, so I guess.
Yeah, and if you get more than one thing back, then definitely worth it.
Yeah. But then again, Tender Taps is a friend, which has Eccentric too. So, But you're probably getting more than one thing from this thing. like that's the thing. Even though it looks proactive, it's kind of not, because you usually know when your opponent is about to score points, and usually your opponent can't really do anything about that.
Mm-hmm. Play this right before they're about to go off on that Daybreaker combo.
Yeah.
And then I don't know if you have anything in your discard pile that'll stop it. Well, I mean, yeah, you'd have to get back something that they wouldn't want to challenge, like a Novo.
Yeah.
Or something like that. Yeah.
No
Anyway.
is yellow, but sure.
I mean, yeah. Well, you just have it in your deck as something that you discard purely to counter that combo. Anyway.
Sure. I mean, sideboards exist, so.
Yeah. Anyway. Next card.
Next card.
Okay. Now we get
Diamond
to
Song 1.
Diamond Song's reveal. That's correct. Our Crackle Cosette, Sowing Distrust, our Chrysalis in disguise. 3 white, yellow, 3 cost, 2 white, yellow wreck, Changeling, Unicorn, Royalty, and Agile. First Agile card we've seen in New Dawn so far, I'm pretty sure.
Mm-hmm.
Yep. And opponents need +2 wild to confront this card's problem for each color among their characters here.
So it's like that problem that stacked up the more colors you have, except twice as bad.
Yeah.
Honestly, I'm glad to see this card, because one thing I really liked about white and yellow, at least before the core rotated, is that white and yellow, there's this interesting color combination where you could go both aggro or control with it, depending on how you build the deck.
Mm-hmm.
Like with aggro, you have like things like Critter Choir, Kratos, or other things. And with control, before core rotated, you could go like bedtime, bounces. There was some other blue-white stuff. I mean, white-yellow stuff I can be remembering. So it's nice to see something control-ish in those colors again.
Mm-hmm. And, I mean, fairly well. This has a place in a faster deck too. 3 power is, well, okay. Generally speaking, Agile hasn't been particularly useful when it only costs when it costs 2.
Yeah.
Like, we've seen the 1 AT Agile cards see some use, but generally the 2 AT Agile cards haven't. But 3 power is still the point where Agile starts to get enticing.
Yeah.
So, yeah. It's interesting to see a card that cares so much about opponents having lots of colors in the set that is about monocolors, or, well, not fully about monocolor, but it's a theme of the set. So, not that. Sorry, go ahead.
But even like single +2 is still pretty good.
Yeah.
Even the Centric 1 was impactful.
Yeah.
So, and this is basically a Centric 2 at the very least.
Yeah. And I guess it's worth pointing out, if you're one thing that white can do requires certain cards, but white has a few cards that can give your opponent white by giving them tokens.
Yeah, that's true.
So
the thing with Agile in this card is that here Agile is not useful for, like, in other cards you have Agile, but they don't really do anything other than giving power to problems. So the only situation you would use Agile in is like confronting multiple problems with one card. But this card is different, right? It's eccentric Agile. So Agile in this card, don't really underestimate it, I would say.
mm-hmm.
It's better than Agile on many other cards, even though it costs 2.
Yeah, similar to
Ocean Flow.
Well, I was actually thinking of the hasty eccentric silver.
Oh yeah,
Shoot.
it's
Skystar.
there's Pinkie
That's her
Pie.
name. Yeah.
Oh,
Yeah,
Skystar. There's Pinkie Pie that she transforms and she's hasty. Oh no,
yeah,
that doesn't have eccentric. Yeah, it was Skystar. You're right.
yeah, yeah. She only costs 2 when you get the transform off. But still, yeah,
Yeah,
that card could have been pretty scary if you could reliably get the transform off.
yeah, but this card, like if you're playing a control deck,
Yeah,
and your opponent wants to do double face off, they kind of have to get it right on both of the problems, because you just have the option to move this card and make them not confront.
yeah, very true.
So it's Phantom eccentric again. It's not there, but it is.
Not there until it needs to be there. Yeah.
Yeah. So yeah, pretty cool card.
Alrighty.
I want to see more white-yellow control.
It's fair. Yeah. I mean, there's another white yellow card coming. Pretty sure we haven't seen the other one yet.
Mm-hmm.
So we'll see what direction it goes in. Okay. Yes, we're almost at the end. That's correct. This was a card that I don't remember exactly what the impetus for spoiling it was. I just saw it in Discord one day.
Yeah, like Beagle just posted it. Oh, I guess this wasn't on Discord still. I don't even know where it came from.
Yeah. But anyway, Twilight Sparkle and Spike. 5 cost, 5 purple power, 4 purple wreck. Alcorn Dragon Royalty. Meticulous 2, which is pretty good. We haven't seen that since Old Money. Meticulous 2?
No, I
think
can't
so.
say for sure.
Yeah, and then.
But this isn't a 5-cost friend, so.
Yeah. Prepared as well. Meticulous and Prepared. We haven't seen that together since cover to cover, I'm pretty sure.
Oh, don't remind me.
Yes, and once per turn, during your turn, you may play an event from an opponent's discard pile, ignoring that card's play requirements. If you do, and that card would be put into its owner's discard pile, banish that card instead. You went to all that trouble with Star Swirl's Journal to be able to play opposing cards. Now you can just do it with this.
Yeah, you know, when it's so straightforward, it isn't as fun anymore.
Yeah.
Like, with Star Swirl Journal, like, the process was the point, not the end result.
Yeah. So, how useful is it to be able to play your opponent's events, generally speaking?
Well, usually people include events in their decks that they like, and that are very useful, like Unsatisfactory Works, or Belly Flops, or so many things.
Yeah. Like, the first instinct that I had when seeing this card was to say that generally, the cards that are in your opponent's deck are there to synergize with their deck and may not necessarily synergize with yours. But there are probably enough just general purpose good events in this game, especially given that you don't have to care about the requirements. That, yeah, this is going to be pretty useful against most opponents.
Very fragile, though.
Yes, very true.
It's a friend that costs 5. Ugh.
Not that decks don't have ways of making their alicorns cost less than that, generally speaking.
I'm reading Grandpa's comments in the chat.
Yeah. Yeah, so as we can say, a pretty good target for your Chrysalis to banish something from the discard pile, or any other kind of reanimator shenanigans you're pulling. And given that this isn't a tricorn, it's got just 4 purple wreck, it is legitimate that you might just pay 5 for it.
Yeah, it's not like purple has a lot of trouble with 18.
Yeah. Or because it has high power, conceivably you could match up with orange for well, it's the limestone that gives you a discount on playing big stuff.
Yes, I think so. But I get the card you're talking about.
Yeah.
Might be mod, actually. I'm not sure. It's one of those.
Pretty sure it's limestone. Yeah. And as we saw, Meticulous 2 is pretty good just in general, having it in play. Talking about
Yeah.
cover to cover again, the prepared was probably the least useful of its abilities, but still absolutely necessary and useful when it happened. And yeah, you probably won't be able to play an event every turn, of course. And you can't activate Twilight Sparkle and Spike's ability during your opponent's turn, which is very useful for the fact that it won't allow you to play unsatisfactory work or belly flop or such like that at immediate speed per se.
Mm-hmm.
It would be kind of interesting to like during your turn pick off an opponent's Sonic Rain Boom and something suddenly all of your events can be played at immediate speed. But yeah.
Yeah.
There's some.
The text is interesting too. That's not an ability on her, but like rather a continuous modifier. Like, like Moondancer had immediate exhaust discard, choose an event in your discard pile. You may play that event, blah, 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 blah.
Yeah.
This card is not like that.
Mm-hmm. So, sorry. Explain to me the minutia of why that's important. I
don't think that changes much. It's just not wording we've seen before.
Okay, fair enough. Well, for what it's worth, I see another way to power up my Celestia. More events getting banished.
True.
But anyway, yes. Last card. One that had slipped. Oh, hey, we were just talking about what the other white-yellow card was going to be. Yeah, one that had slipped through my filter because it was somewhere in Discord. Infiltrating the party, and it's been said, but thank you very much for continuing that. Infiltrating, excellent.
I mean, had to be done.
Yeah, it had to be done. Yes. Yeah. 4 flip, cost 2, 2 rec, white and yellow. Main phase event, choose a trait from among your characters. Put 2 power colorless changeling friend tokens with that trait into play. At the end of the turn, banish those token friends. Another way to get Pegasi, although admittedly we're in the wrong colors for that. This event
another way to get cheerleaders, you mean?
Cheerleaders, yes. I mean, this event, honestly, I would probably just make them changelings. I mean, I need a few more changelings for my Timbal. That's why I'm playing this.
So you'd have 2 power changeling friend?
Yeah, why not?
They're infiltrating their own parties. Nobody will guess that you're actually a changeling on a changeling party.
Yeah. I mean, what you really do in that situation is it doesn't matter what trait you pick. So you pick tree or whatever. Yeah.
Well, you have to choose one of your characters. So.
Oh, that's correct.
It's not. Yeah. It's not an arbitrary. So.
Shoot. So yeah, changeling then. Still, yeah, great way to. Well, yeah, in these colors, changelings are the main thing that you're doing. Could be Pegasi, could be a lot of different things. Given the yellow problem that cares about things that have specific traits,
You might choose unicorn for yellow-white, though.
Possibly.
Or the real play is to choose unique.
Interesting. That will. I mean, that'll get rid of one of them.
Yes, that's the only thing it does.
Unless you have thorax out, then it does nothing.
Yeah. But yeah, I don't think you really choose Pegasi with this because this is white, yellow, and
Yeah.
Pegasi and not these colors.
Yeah.
So I can either see changelings, as you said, like this card just getting to changelings for 2 AT. It's 4 power for 2 AT, pretty good by itself. And I can see unicorn because of the harmony unicorn for white. Like
Right.
this card can help you get, like if you have one unicorn and you play this card, your reliving history works, because I think that requires you to have like 3 unicorns.
Right. Yeah. Grandpa
So
says critter as well. Pretty good point.
yeah, critter is pretty good, especially with critter choir. Ugh. So yeah, fun card.
Fun card indeed. I think that's everything. Unless
Yep.
I mean we were pretty thorough going through the archives and such. Per usual, we will make some small talk here just in case anything gets dropped in the chat. Or Grandpa's just said
Wink.
no. Okay. Nothing happening. He says nothing happening. Okay.
It's okay, Cursed.
It's fine.
We'll get to spoil entire set after it's released.
Prism Light mentioning Unity 15 Twilight. Yeah, I guess.
Didn't we do that one before?
Which card is it?
It's the one that makes main phase actions more expensive, I think.
Well, yeah. I don't have a card coming to my mind when you say that. Where was it spoiled?
I don't remember. Somewhere? I remember seeing it. Let me quickly find it.
Yeah. I'm pretty sure that I haven't seen that card. Based on your description. So, yeah. Maybe we haven't talked about that one yet.
I don't remember where was it, no. I have it as a playtest card. I'm not sure if it was released as a like full art one.
Discord. Okay. Give us a quick moment here.
I found it. Not on Discord, but somewhere else.
If you can if you can put the picture in our server.
Yeah, 1 sec.
Yeah.
It's on stream notes.
Okay.
So
well, yeah.
good thing we have chat to remind us of cards, because it's so easy to miss them when there's like 20 of them in the span of 2 weeks.
Yeah. I certainly have not seen this card before.
So already hot takes become even hotter.
Yeah, I guess so. Super Unity Twilight. What is this resolution? This is not the usual.
They just asks in chat. You guys are still on. Yeah, that's what happens when there's.
Well, this is the
spoiler
22nd,
streams.
I think. Yeah.
Good thing there weren't 2 spoiler streams in a row.
Okay.
Like 20 cards is 1/7 of the set, so
Hey, here it is. Okay. Princess Twilight Sparkle. Powerful magic. 4 purple, 4 cost, 3 rec. At the start of your turn, gain 1. Okay. Don't even have to exhaust stuff now. Unity 15. Opponents must pay +1 to take a main phase action. The normal main phase actions. Yeah, draw a card, move one of your characters, rally one of your friends, or play a troublemaker. Interesting ability for purple to have. That's kind of a what that's a really interesting ability because like if I'm thinking about late game in most decks, well, I mean some decks will be drawing cards late game. Most decks will be moving stuff around late game. Rallying and playing troublemakers maybe less so.
Rallying is useful for not letting them like in the frightened deck.
Yeah. So that's on the assumption we're playing a deck that frightens stuff, which
Yeah.
is easy enough to do.
Moving characters is
Moving characters
kinda
happens a fair amount in the late game. Yeah, that's
well, not with main phase thing usually. That's like it has the same problem as Shovi, but it does work like against Swift.
true.
Like it negates Swift.
Yeah, well, like blue will be able to get around that. Most other colors do most of their movement the old-fashioned way, though. I think. Like
Yeah.
orange generally is moving stuff using the main
With
phase
pirate
action.
ship, you mean?
Oh well, yeah, I guess that's a fair point.
Yeah.
Like actually, I don't know that this doesn't seem like the most busted Unity 15 compared to the others. Now, granted, at the start of your
Well, yeah.
turn,
If
gain
you
1.
compare it to win the game, sure.
Well, yeah. Like the first text is great. Start your turn, gain 1. That's awesome. That's for no other cost, for not having to exhaust your 3-power friend or you know, etc. That's really good. I'd have to maybe see this in action to get a gauge of how good that Unity 15 is.
I don't remember if it's going to be changed in the rules or already rules changed for that or not. But currently in the rules, I think playing cards is also a main phase action, which you can do. It's like one of the like playing a friend is a main phase action,
It is, yeah.
or playing a main phase event is a main phase action.
Yeah.
But this card doesn't list those actions, so probably will be changed in the
Sorry.
rules.
Okay. The rules will be changed?
Well, the thing is, I'm pretty sure currently in the rules, playing cards
Is a
during
main
your
phase
main
action, yeah.
is a main phase like part of what things you do is a main phase action. So either rules will have to be changed for that or this card's text, but I'm pretty sure we'll fix in the rules.
Right. So this card will keep on doing what it says it's doing.
Yeah, I mean that's why the specification is there.
Yeah.
Utopia asks in chat, how does she work with EEA? There's nothing really special about EEA in this card. Like,
Yeah.
EA doesn't let you play cards outside of your main phase. This card only affects main phase actions, which are listed in the reminder text there.
Well, specifically, EEA says you can't do anything that's not a main phase action, right? Like, it applies to activated abilities too, right?
That's true. It says that you can't do things except as a main phase action, yes.
Yeah.
So if you're changing the rules so that playing cards is not a main phase action, you have to consider EEA too. That's interesting.
Yeah.
But we'll figure this out. It'll be all fine by the time the set releases.
Yeah. It seems like the intent of the card is not to care about playing cards as main phase actions.
Yeah, to not tax playing cards.
Yeah, or doing main phase activated immediate abilities. Sorry, main phase timed activated abilities that would open a priority window.
Yeah, but usually those don't have costs, AT costs.
Yeah.
Because this one says +1, not just 1.
Yeah. It feels to me, Grandpa's, actually, that some terminology change might be the easiest way to clear this whole thing up.
I mean, at worst, if you're already listing the actions in the reminder text, you might as well just do it in the main text and don't change anything about how main phase actions work. Since you still have the same amount of text.
Mm-hmm. Is that actually reminder text? I mean, I
Well,
guess
it is in parentheses, so
but it's not italicized.
It's not italicized, but I mean, it doesn't mean anything. Like that, it has to be reminder text.
Yeah, I guess so. Anyway,
this will be fixed.
Chat, for bringing it to my attention. I guess I just kind of missed it.
Yeah.
It's as if we had a spoiler today, just for me.
Yeah. Specifically for you, Cursed.
Okay. But yeah, that I hope brings us to the end of the stream.
Yeah, looks like it.
Going
We've
once,
been
going
here
twice.
for
Yeah,
like 2
nobody
hours.
says anything. Yeah. Welcome to spoiler season. I mean that's the one consequence of the way the spoilers have been done this time around with the playtest streams. We tend to get relatively large batches dumped on us pretty frequently. Although for what it's worth, I think we've seen only about like half the set so far. I'm at like 80 something cards that we've seen so far, so
that's more than half.
It's yeah, maybe a little bit more than, but around there.
Yeah. So not a single Trixie today. What a waste of time. Don't call me to the next stream unless there's Trixie there.
Okay, we'll see. All right. Otherwise, thank you everyone for coming out and giving us your time. If you want to see any of our past content or part of this one that you missed or something like that, our YouTube is right there. This particular stream will get uploaded either today or tomorrow, perhaps, if I can't find the time today. But it'll be there. Otherwise, let me see. Do we have another stream before Continentals? Or whatever the tournament is? I don't think so.
When are the non-tinentals? Are they next week?
No, they're 2 weeks from now, I'm pretty sure.
Then
it's
no.
Like the weekend of the 15th, 16th. Yeah. So chances are we probably won't be on that week, given that, well, there's that happening.
Yeah.
So look for us again 4 weeks from now, I guess, where we probably will have even more spoilers to talk about, plus the results of that event.
Yeah, if in like last month we got like 40 or 50 spoilers, or what was it? 4 weeks from now, given that there's also like a tournament happening.
Yeah, we might not do them both at once.
Yeah, we might have to split it out.
Yeah. Anyway, once again, thank you all for coming out. And yeah, until next time, I've been cursedchords.
I've been Hithroc.
And we'll see you in a fortnight.
Bye.